Hey guys, stop whatever you're doing and go download the beta for Console Aspects 3.0.0, which is available right now in the description. Yes, if you go down there, you can download the thing that you've seen me work on for months and months and months and tease you with and show you previews of, and now it is ready to be tested by all probably 200 people who care. So this Console Aspects update came together very, very quickly, and in the rest of this video, I'll talk about everything that's happened since the last one. Like Java Aspects, Console Aspects now has performance and Fidelity versions. The feature differences are the same as Java Aspects. Fidelity has full item poses, item icons, and durability bars, while performance does not. Everything else I talk about in this video will apply to both packs, which are both, once again, available to download in the description right now. You should go do it. This update also introduces a new side pack to Console Aspects called Console Shading. This is based on Marc Jones' Console Graphics pack, and this companion pack reshades Minecraft to match Console Edition a little better. Its main features are higher gamma, brighter grass, softer fog, and a few other things like separate end fog and sky colors, and snowflakes being a little bit more varied, small stuff. But essentially, Marc Jones has allowed me to use his pack to add the last crucial piece in making Bedrock really feel like console, which is the color difference. I really recommend using this pack, but it is an optional pack, so if you don't want to reshade your game to look like Console Edition, you can keep the Bedrock saturation while still having everything else I talk about right now. I've made a lot of improvements to Console Aspects since that last video. Let's cover some of them. For starters, here's everything that I've ported from Java Aspects. Well, not everything. Here's most things I've ported from Java Aspects. I finished porting the item pose code from Java Aspects. I did not include the crossbow, pointed dripstone, or goat horn changes that are in Java Edition, because obviously we're matching Console Edition, and pointed dripstone and goat horn never even existed, so they just used the Bedrock default, and the crossbow followed how the Bedrock item poses went, so I matched the Bedrock poses with Console Aspects. The Trident situation is a bit odd, though. Console Edition actually has unique Trident animations in both first-person and third-person, so I would love to recreate those, but I don't have the skill or the time to do that right now, so I just ported the Java Edition ones and left a note about it in the changelog. In the future, I hope to add the actual Console Edition Trident animations, but for now, we're good. The crossbow in first-person is changed to match its held position from Java Aspects, but it does not center in your screen when it's loaded. It stays off to the right, like on console. It's also changed to be flat against your hand instead of kind of weirdly tilted, but the angle pointing straight with your arm still matches. I also added villager item poses, but only for blocks, because 2D items already match Console Edition where they're at that kind of jutting out angle. The other big Fidelity feature I finished since the last video was item icon code. That includes full shading on blocks up to 1.19, including Skulk Catalyst, Froglights, and even unobtainable blocks like Glowing Obsidian. I've also added the item icons for glass panes, end rods, lightning rods, conduit, chests, and the shield. Yes, I did say lightning rod, even though Console Edition never has a lightning rod. The end rod, I'd say, is close enough to it, and the end rod matches Java Edition on Console Edition, so the lightning rod probably should too. Using the lightning rod icon from Java Edition just keeps the inventory a little bit more consistent with itself. I did not include the wall, scaffolding, or bed icons from Java Aspects because Console Edition matches Bedrock for those items. I added the Hurt Entity overlay from Java Aspects, which is less red, but I did not add the On Fire overlay from Java Aspects because Console Edition uses Bedrock's Flaming Person overlay where you turn orange, and then I fixed the glow squid and blaze lighting, which kind of goes with the overlay feature. I separated llama decor and the model once again. Same thing went for pigs and saddles, so now they kind of float off of them instead of being stapled to their skin/fur. I added semi-transparent shulker bullets. I added end crystal rotation patterns. I added stained glass and totem particles. Oh my gosh, it's just an endless list. I added the 1.17, 1.18, and 1.19 block sound pitches and volumes. So these blocks were never in Console Edition, like, say, Skulk or Netherite blocks, but Console Edition always used consistently playing block sounds, and that means they always played with the same pitch and volume, while Bedrock uses block sounds whose pitches and volumes can vary each time they play. This is one of the rules that I follow when adding new features to Console Aspects, and how to address new features related to blocks that never existed in Console Edition. To help explain these rules that I'm following, I introduced a new document which I will explain later. I also added a load of Java Aspect sound events to console aspects for cross-pack compatibility. If you play a command with block.skulk.break, you'll now get the same sound on console aspects and Java aspects. It's just a little way to keep the commands more consistent. Finally, in the Java Aspects porting category, I fixed map hands, so when you're holding a map, you actually get to see your hands instead of it just kind of floating there. The more exciting part of this update is that after I finished porting all the Java Aspect stuff, I could start adding console-exclusive features, which is like stuff from Console Edition that I wasn't able to do previously or didn't notice previously or didn't have to add previously in some cases. The first thing is I improved the end sky color to match Console Edition almost exactly. And I did this by using comparison shots from the Wii U edition on 75% gamma, which is what console aspects plus console shading is supposed to match. I think it looks really, really good, and you can actually see the towers against the sky now, which is not possible on default Bedrock Edition. I'm very happy with how the end sky looks. Villagers now have an emerald above their head when offering to trade, so when you hold an emerald out to do visual trading, they will also make the emerald appear above their head when there is a player trading with them. But unfortunately, I don't have a way to query for when a player is trading with a villager, so instead we just have to do this alternative. It's the best compromise I can get to add an interesting feature that's now exclusive to Console Edition back to Bedrock. Sneaking while gliding with the Elytra now does the Superman pose where it sticks your right hand out. I think that's so awesome, and I'm so glad that Console Edition had that kind of exclusive feature, because sneaking while gliding is completely pointless, but posing while gliding is cool. Boss bars and names are now always pink, so Bedrock Edition had recently added the Wither bar and Raid bar being purple and red, and also the text is white. Well, now they're all pink, in every situation, just like Console Edition. The empty armor slots in your survival inventory now have more space around the icon. It's 6 extra pixels of space total, and it just makes them look like Console Edition. I don't really know why it has them spaced like that, but whatever. The Pocket UI furnace screen no longer shows result item text. Tooltips no longer have black backgrounds on the HUD screen, which looks really ugly. Why did they do that? Cartography tables now use the lock glass texture from Console Edition instead of the one from Bedrock and Java. For some reason, Console Edition's cartography table used the old glass texture when you were locking it. It must have just been something left over from the development of Bedrock Edition that they ported before the glass texture was updated and then forgot to update it later. But it is forever part of Console Edition, and thus it will forever be part of console aspects. The vignette that appears around the screen and makes kind of a dark circle when you're underground is now gone. Console Edition doesn't have a vignette, so there's no reason to allow it to appear on Bedrock. Trident Throwing, when you hold back and throw the trident, is actually higher pitched and quieter on Console Edition, so I replicated that feel. I think that's such a tiny thing, but it's fun. Nether wastes no longer play sound ambience because on Console Edition they're completely silent besides the music. And I added back Lena Rain music to new Nether biomes. That's another one of the rules I added. New biomes will not have their music touched, so I added Lena Rain music back to the biomes that are not in Console Edition. The only exception is the Warped Forest, which now plays music, where I moved Rubidoux, because Rubidoux used to only play in the Nether Wastes, and if I didn't move it to the Warped Forest, it would play nowhere, and that's lame. Finally, I changed a bunch more names of blocks and items to match Console Edition, like all the infested blocks are now Silverfish blocks. The player permission screen now says can build, can mine, can use doors and switches, just like Console Edition. The new Create World screen has completely redone game rules and game rule descriptions to match the descriptions and names on the Console Edition version. Mangrove, Crimson, and Warped Stairs and Slabs now say Wood Stairs and Wood Slab instead of just Stair and Slab. And finally, I added the optional zip files from Java aspects that apply and recreated them for Console Edition. So the Enchantment Glint is here, Roofed Forest Grass is here, Potion effects being visible in the inventory is here, Enderman Eyes are here. All that stuff from Java aspects that was optional is also optional for console aspects. Now that text document I mentioned earlier, Future Features. This handles how I will deal with features that never existed on Console Edition, but I now have to integrate into console aspects somehow to make them feel like they fit. I'll cover some of the rules that I've been following for quite a long time here. These were always unofficial, but I decided to make them official so that everybody knows the template I'm using to create updates for console aspect. Random rotation is always removed for new blocks. Old blocks never had random rotation on console edition, so new blocks wouldn't either. I mentioned consistent block sound pitches and volumes earlier. I mentioned not messing with the music in new biomes. That's a new rule I've added because I had to deal with it very inconsistently before, and now it is consistent. I added rules about underwater fog. I added rules about what snapshot the textures should match. It's really stuff to help me as much as it helps you, because it helps me check, oh, here's how I should update things, and also helps you know what I'm doing. The last thing I'd like to mention is that I have fully removed minigame mode integration in console aspects. There are no more sound events for minigame music. There's no more minigame music. The only leftover is minigame sounds, which you can only play with commands. In minigame modes, they will be able to play in-game in the right situations, like you'll hear the battle death sound when you die if you're using the battle sub-pack. But minigame modes is not ready, so it's not being released with this beta. So, that is all. Go download Console Aspects 3.0.0 right now. Please send me all the bug reports you find in either this comment section or on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.